Hello, hello. Welcome to another live sim talk on Wednesdays. The crew is back to talk about some chosen topics, some random topics, some off topics as well. And hopefully, our Brad Peter will sing some Frank Sinatra's hit for you. Okay.
Yes.
Welcome,
Yes.
everybody.
Bravo. Bravo.
Let's start the roundup of introduction with Mr. Hopper Peterson.
Hello, good morning from, in fact, I'm the only American in here today. Southwest U.S., I'm from Arizona.
Perfect. And let's get back to Europe from Belgium.
Hello,
Chris.
everyone. I am Chris from Belgium, and it's very hot here.
Okay, so here. But I think Harper has something. He doesn't want us to speak about hot weather because if he starts to talk, he will melt us.
Yes.
That's
So
too hot.
let's make a kind of a small leap to the other side of the. How can I? How does it call it? Oh my God! The channel between Europe and UK.
Oh, channel.
The channel.
Channel?
Yes.
It's the English channel.
Okay, so let's make this small leap to Scotland, Aberdeen, Mr.
Yes.
Brad Peter.
Hello. I know I do look handsome, do I? Like Brad Pitt and everything, you know. More George Clooney, I would think, you know.
I was between, George Clooney and Antonio Banderas because of the tanned skin.
Yeah.
I was.
Do you know what I would love to do? You ever watch people in other countries where they're blind and they take patches off their eyes and it's a simple operation, cataracts, and they can't see. But I would love to do that, and then when they opened up and I looked at them and say, "Who are you?" What you mean? I go, "George Clooney."
Good sense of humor. Good sense of humor, Peter. Love you. Just love you, Peter.
And let's keep it British. How are you, Nick?
Oh, I'm very British today. Thank you, Marco. Yes, very British indeed. Good to see we've chucked one of the Yanks off. No, I'm only joking. I'm very well there.
So, and now let's give a bigger leap and cross the Atlantic, and let's go to this lady, which is kind of American, but with some Latin roots.
Not American at all. We're Canadians. Hi,
Don't
everyone.
call a Canadian an American.
No, not American.
No,
Blame
No, we're Canadians. We're Canadians. We love the Americans. Don't get us wrong, but we feel a little bit more towards the British than the Americans. We're kind of in between,
When I thought, and you should have that in mind, Maria, even though you want to or you don't, but you're an American because you live in the American continent.
Oh, that's very true. I am North American. Absolutely. That's a good point. Yes.
Yes. For
Okay.
instance, there's a nice thing about. Okay, first, talk a little bit, and then I will get back to this.
Okay. So I'm in Ontario, Canada, and I live near Niagara Falls. And of course, the beautiful falls, one of the wonders of the world. And we have been shut down to all American tourists here because of the COVID. But I think Canada and US are talking now. Maybe they'll start letting the Americans over the border for vacation travel, right? So we're just waiting to hear back. But it's been very quiet here, and the weather is really cool. I had to shut my windows. That's how cold it was. But I prefer the cold anytime to what you're getting, Harper. Thank you, dear God. I like it here that it's cold, but we'll be getting our heat pretty soon, which I don't really like. So back to you, Marco, from Canada.
Okay, thank you so much, Maria. So about that thing about being there's another thing which for me it's funny. I think you all know that original Latin people are it's all started in Italia, okay, Italy, but then it went to France, Spain, and Portugal. We are the nuclear Latin people, okay.
Yeah.
And it's funny when someone from Latin America approaches, started talking. Oh, we are Latinos, and European people doesn't like us, Latinos. And I said, sorry.
Yeah.
I have to tell you something about history.
Yes, no kidding. Yes, I think so.
So that's the funny side. But now we should be strict and we should get serious and talk about the weekly topic carefully chosen for you. Okay.
Oh,
And this week I want to get really serious because Peter sent me a DM asking, Marco, this show is becoming too much fun, too much jokes, and I want it serious. Otherwise, it's not my tone. I don't feel comfortable if the show is not serious enough and really serious. And I said, okay, Peter, let's make the show really serious. Okay, so let me share the topic with you just a little bit. So, the topic of today, it's your favorite cartoon in the childhood.
Oh, yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
Peter.
favorite
For
cartoon.
sure. Yeah. Cartoon.
Cartoon in
Peter
your
will
childhood.
kickstart.
Yeah.
Oh, is it me? Well, if there's one cartoon,
Probably
I
Steamboat
always-
Willie.
Is it me? Is it me, John? Right.
It's you, Peter.
Okay. Sorry. I love Fred Flintstone. The Flintstones. I just love the Flintstones. I like their cars. And what was their feet never bumped in the braked? That was one. No, they're running the braked. And another thing, well, in every animal, did you notice every animal that they used for something? They just loved their job. The one I remember was this bird with a big beak. And to play the record would go, and it would take its head and push it down, and the beak would go, and it would go up, and it would make a comment. I just love my job. All the stuff like that. And Dino putting it out, and then it would immediately want back in. And the Flintstones were absolutely, and I just like the way that they'd incorporated our life into it, and fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love that too. I love that show too. Lots of fun.
Okay.
So
Maria.
the Flintstones.
Okay. Me?
Yes.
Bugs Bunny. And I love bunnies. I've always had bunnies as pets. I love bunnies. I love their sweet, docile nature. And what's really funny is that I was born the year of the hare. With the Chinese horoscope, I was born the year of the hare. So it's interesting that, and we should all look at that. We should be looking at ourselves. Okay, what year were you born, Chinese horoscope? And what year, what are you? Like there's the rooster, there's everything else. But the hare, Bugs Bunny, I used to love that. It was so much fun. I loved all cartoons. I used to sit there for hours watching. And I love the Fred Flintstone. My goodness, that was so much fun. But Peter Rabbit. There's another one there, right? But Bugs Bunny, absolutely.
we have another Flintstone lover here. Lamarisa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Nick.
Oh, cartoons. I was racking my brains trying to think what was my favorite. growing up. And I was thinking, oh my God. Then it came to me. It's like, so don't yell, help, help, here come the bears. Help, help, here come the bears. Help, help, here come the bears. Let's split. Yes, the Hair Bear Bunch, if you didn't realise what that was.
I know that.
There was one with a big fuzzy head, and there was one tall, lopey little one, and there was one little one, and they all got on a motorcycle, and they got up to all sorts of hijinks with a park ranger whose name has escaped me for the moment. But yeah, that was my favourite one as a child. It was, talking bears. I mean, how cool is that? Who thought of that? Apart from, I know it was Hanna-Barbera, but yeah, who thought of talking bears in a cartoon, driving motorbikes, nicking food? And I still can't think of the blooming park ranger's name. So someone can remember it. That'd be really cool. I was trying to Google it just before you cut to me, so I could look more intelligent and show a little more gravitas. But I got caught red-handed, fingers in the cookie jar, or the Google jar, as it was. There you go. And actually, that could have been an episode of the Hair Bear Bunch. Doing something they shouldn't have done, getting caught, and that was it. Yeah, happy days. It was either that, or I don't know if anyone else saw this. It was either or the Pink Panther.
Oh yes.
Which was another great.
I think I should bring this sound as well to my Stream Deck.
Yeah.
Well, the thing was, the reason I like the Pink Panther so much wasn't particularly the cartoons. Actually, I think I preferred the Clouseau cartoon that used to be interspersed with it. But the Pink Panther just had the most amazing car. That strange long car that a cartoon Pink Panther drove. You used to get out of it at the beginning. Every time you got out of it, went into the little Chinese cinema, and at the end, he'd come back and he'd get back in it and drive off, and the other little fellow would be running behind him. Again, who thinks this stuff up? Wow. Much simpler in these days.
Okay, I think next one it's Harper.
For me, go figure. Mine is going to be about cars. Mine is a cartoon called Speed Racer. Speed Racer was a young man who obviously raced cars in a race, and he was the good guy that was always trying to help people. And there was a bad guy, and he was always battling against the bad guy and stuff. So, but that was always my favorite cartoon. And when people asked me why, it was like they always tried to help people, and obviously he drove a fast car. So that'll be next theme song for the day.
Bravo.
We're getting bond.
Okay.
So, yeah, we could get thrown out of Facebook.
Wonderful. I love it. Good work. You did that fast.
Chris. I think Chris will be up.
What do you have a little doggy there? You see Harper with his little doggy.
That's for me. A little dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead, Chris. Chris, go ahead.
My preferred cartoon is the Smurfs in Belgium. That are little blue guys with white clothes, and they are based on the Roman civilization. And you can take them as training for languages because they are available in different languages. And it's a very funny series.
Perfect.
Yeah, we have Smurfs over here too.
Okay.
That's the dog. Yes.
Aww. So cute.
This is Piper. She sings when the camera's not on. So.
Aww. Sweet.
That's lovely.
Lovely
Go
to have
for
her
the camera.
join us. Hi, Judy. Oh, she's so sweet. What a sweetheart. What a sweetheart. Oh, look at that.
Oh, the little idiots.
Oh, I love her. I
You
love
will
her
stay,
heart.
you will stay like that until the end of the show.
She is the leader. She is the
Yeah.
3-pound leader of our gang. So
Aw.
my service dog, who's trained to listen to me, listens to her instead. I'll tell her to do something, and she looks at her and goes, "Oh, like she's controlling me. I can't do it."
Yes.
But she doesn't like the heat, so
And
she
she's
doesn't
so
even go out
tiny.
in the day. She is. She's very frail.
Oh,
Luckily, she's
how
not the one that got attacked by the owl. So owl would have just taken her. She can't even fight back. So she has no teeth.
Oh,
Her little tongue sticks out.
Oh.
Ah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Could you not give two hoots about the owl like?
Peter, you're so good. You're very good, Peter.
So now it's my turn to talk about
Okay.
my cartoon. It was Tom Sawyer. Do you remember Tom Sawyer?
Not as a
Not,
cartoon.
not as a cartoon.
Because when
Did you
when,
have Tom
when I
Sawyer
was
as a
young-
cartoon?
Yes. And
Oh,
Huckleberry
wow.
Finn
Wow.
and Joe the
We
Indian.
never.
Was
Okay.
that a special Portuguese cartoon, Marco?
Mhm.
Let me check. Let me check.
Nice.
It's probably
Okay, I
pronounced
love
something
it.
totally different. It was.
I never
It was
did.
Tom Sawyer. The
favorite.
cartoon was on right after Magellan.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
searched.
I'm
Park
gonna
Ranger
try,
Mr. Thieveley, by the way. I just searched it.
I'm gonna try something crazy. Let me
Okay.
see. I
Go
didn't
for
get it from anywhere. Okay. Let me share the screen.
Everybody, hold on to the box.
I'll tell you, Marco now looks like Poncherello in Chips.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
screen here. Full screen. Okay, let's cross fingers.
Yeah.
All right.
Brincando na proa, estava a estar voado por cima de grande falcão, as orelhas flores e quando vem Mississippi, só faz pela onda e voas como meta, nuvens de tormenta, já estão por aí. Correm todo o céu por cima de ti. Corre, e te escolherás.
Called the sumo wrestling walk.
Aquelas plantas,
Okay, I'm guessing it's Japanese.
e sonharás. Respirarás. Só não parar.
I'll tell you what, Mark, I know why Rico. It wasn't English, that's why Rico.
Enciclopédia TV.
So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm glad I missed that as a kid.
Marco,
Yes, yes,
that's,
yes.
that's a Japanese production, isn't it?
Yeah, we.
That's how
we
they
had-
see the Americans. That's how they visualize the Americans, you know.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen that. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, is that dancing popular, Harper, in America, in the States?
What?
that dancing the cartoons are doing all in one line. I have never
Never
seen that
heard of it.
before in my life.
Yeah.
I think Harper can make it right now. Harper, I'm gonna put you full screen and you can make that dance.
I can make what?
Do the dance. Do
And
the
make
dance.
the
Dance, Harper.
Oh, I'm doing that dance.
Peter will
No,
sing and you will dance.
I will break
Yeah,
something.
we had
I've got really long
we
legs.
had-
Think
we had Japanese, lots of Japanese cartoons.
Okay. We never did. We never did at that time.
Yeah.
But
Hey, well,
But-
Marissa, who's watching, she was dancing on the side.
Yeah.
Aw, great
Well,
moments.
I'm pretty sure that Marisa also saw this Tom Sawyer
That's what she
because
said.
it was a classic. It was a classic, and my
Mhm.
mother used because in this cartoon,
Mhm.
Tom Sawyer was always bare feet. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
and when I was young, I never wear shoes. and I don't let's bring the second topic, which are these painful memories from our childhood. And one of the painful memories I had were when I went barefoot,
Mhm.
when there was this tiny stone a little bit over, and my big finger hits it. It was so painful. So now it's time for you to share this kind of memories. Harper,
what? What kind of memory? I was playing on my phone. I was playing something for Nick.
What was going
shame
on?
on you. Shame on you. Shame on
I
you,
was
Harper.
playing the.
You missed.
I was playing
You
the theme
lost your
song to
turn.
Chips because Nick made a reference that you were Punch from Chips. So
I was.
I got
I was.
what's
Okay.
the question?
You will go to the end of the queue, and then you will pick.
I gotta
the
go to the end of the
topic.
line.
Let's bring Chris. Chris,
So you have to help me because I am saying now something in English, and I don't know if I can, but I will try.
okay.
When I was young, I was in a very asking school where there were head teachers and principals who really are strict. And on one day, they said that we mustn't go to the beach, and I don't know what's that in English anymore. That was at the church where the pastor sat in such a cast, and then you could say all that you have done wrong.
Your sin, confession.
Yeah, all your sins. You must confess all your sins.
It's
But
confession.
we had a rehearsal on mathematics, and I thought, okay, it's not forbidden to. We mustn't go there anymore. I found the rehearsal very important, so I didn't want to go. But that week, I had to clean the board. So I came last of my class into the chapel. And what happened? Our sister, such a nun with black clothes, she said, "Oh, what are you doing? That's no good. You must go immediately confess your sins." And I was forgetting the rhythm I must say. So I thought the only thing I can do now is say the truth. And I say, I found the rehearsal for mathematics more important than saying my sins. What are you saying? You're a goddess. War. And I felt out of that spell, and everyone was laughing the first day. They had to understand what there was happening. That was very ashaming.
Yeah. Interesting.
I have
Yeah.
I have something to share about the only confession I made in my life was I need to make to be allowed to have communion. I don't know how to say it in English. Okay, there's a small disc made with flour and water that you heat during
Mhm.
the
It's communion.
The hostie, communion.
yes, first communion. Yes, yes. And I remember like it was today. I was there with the priest, and he asked me, do you usually use say bad words?" And I say, sometimes. "Do you lie?" And I said, "Sometimes." Well, these things that small kids do. I was
Yeah.
7 years old or something. Okay, so go outside and you have to pray this, and this.
Mhm.
I forgot.
Oh, you have to pray. Okay. You can make it up now, Marco. Make it up now.
So that's my big sin. So let's get back. Okay, I think Nick wants to share something with us.
Yeah, the most painful thing as a child. Actually, I'll keep it on the religious theme, and also, if you don't mind, Marco, it just brings it slightly into a football or soccer ball realm. And that was when I was my grandfather was born and bred in Manchester. Okay, he moved down to London when he was a young man, but he was being from Manchester. He was obviously a Manchester City fan, not a United. So he was a big supporter of Manchester City. And of course, I absolutely loved my granddad. I thought he hung the moon. He could do no wrong in my eyes. So it was only natural that I should become a Manchester City supporter, even though we lived in London.
Mhm.
But when I was 8 years old, we went to church, and there was a new vicar. And the vicar's sons were burly, strapping lads of about 16, 17. And they were mad Tottenham Hotspur supporters. I mean, I'm really mad back in those days. This was the 70s, where you went for a little game of football and a good old punch-up as well. And so they decided, no, Nick, you can't be a Manchester City supporter. You need to support Tottenham. And I was like, no, because my granddad did. No, they picked me up. They hung me upside down by my feet at the back of the church. Well, around the back of the church. So it was in the grounds at the graveyard behind the boiler, and shook me until I promised to support Tottenham.
Oh my goodness.
And they wouldn't let go until I did. And to this day, I'm now a diehard Tottenham supporter. So, part of me thinks I shouldn't have changed my mind at 8, but once your mind's been changed, you can't really change it back. So that was the most painful experience, because of course now Manchester City are ruling the world. So that pains me. But if they buy Harry Kane, I don't really mind.
Perfect. Maria.
Oh my goodness. I mean, there's a lot, right? I mean, but I would say the first one I remember was I was in Catholic school. This is so funny. I love the nuns. Right? I love my nuns. I had really lovely nuns, and I was at I was at the back of the class because sometimes I had to sit at the front because I couldn't see, but at that time, eyes were still good. So I was sitting at the back of the class, and some girls were making noise. And the sister said, "Maria, stop making noise." And sister, I said, "It's not me. It was 2 other girls." But she says, "Come on up here." So I went up there. She said, "Put out your hand. I got a strap, right?" And I thought, I didn't like that very much because it wasn't me making the noise, but it's okay. I mean, it's so interesting, right? The nuns here, right? Religious, because, when I was growing up, religion was very important in our home. And also I went to Catholic school for most of my life, but not all of it. But yeah, I would say that's the first painful experience, was that I was blamed for something I hadn't done,
I love the fact that we have to have religion beaten into us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Peter.
Well, funnily enough, something that stuck out to me is when I was about 7, a teacher, Miss McDonald, she took me out and she says, "Listen to Peter's voice." And that was then, and I was so humiliated, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And it's funny how I turned out to become a part-time singer. But then
Wow.
I just couldn't do
Oh,
it.
yes.
I just froze, and I remember going, I couldn't do it in front of the rest of the kids.
Interesting.
And,
Yeah.
and it's maybe that it made me still feel conscious about it. People looking at me, singing.
That is amazing.
It's a strange feeling, I'll tell you. And you can see the one that doesn't like you.
Yeah.
And you say, was you at my school that day?
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
So
Yeah.
that's something that I remember from school. Never went away. I still feel the flush in my face now about it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we can see.
It really was because they wouldn't have paid me. But there you go.
Harper.
Yeah.
You're a teaser, Harper.
In honor of Manchester. And yes, I am a Liverpool fan. I don't like American football at all. But mind you, and little disclosure, I was 15 years old. 15-year-old boys don't exactly make the best decisions in life. So my girlfriend was over babysitting at this house, and I was hanging out with one of my male friends from school, and we thought we'd stop by and see her. Well, 15-year-old boy thinking was, well, she doesn't like my friend, so we're not going to knock on the door. We'll knock on the window. Don't ask me how. It doesn't make any sense right now. But we did. And she got scared and called the police. So we kept tapping on the window. We go to a different, maybe she's not in that room. So we went over to this side of the house, tapped on that window. And so next thing we know, we're like, oh, forget it. She's, maybe she's not actually there. So we were walking away around the back side of the house. And then we're like, wait, what are all those cops doing on the street? So we crawl around the side of the room. We're crawling in the grass. Now, mind you, I have wanted to be a police officer since I was 5 years old, and been there, done that. And I did. But this is the worst decision I think I've ever made in my life. I'm laying in the grass. We're just sitting there watching, right? It's dark. You can't see any, can't see us. And all of a sudden, one of them goes, "What's that over there?" And they shine their lights. And my friend stands up and just runs. And they're like, "Stop, don't run." And of course, what do? I get up and run like an idiot. Like I've done something wrong, right? So we run. The cop cars are chasing us around the backside. And my friend jumped in some bushes, and I tried to get underneath the car because it was the only car in the alley. And it was like this far off the ground, and I couldn't. So I'm laying there next to the car, and the guy pulls up and he goes, "That was stupid." And I'm like, I'm not armed. They never found my friend.
Never found your friend.
They never found my friend. But he couldn't get out of the bushes. He was in blackberry bushes, very thorny bush. So he got, I saw him the next day. He had scratch marks all over his face, his arms. They would have had to come in and get me. But so they got me up. They handcuffed me. They put me in the back of a police car, drove me around to the front of the house.
Yeah.
Went up to the door, and they wrote, they're the windows down or whatever on the car, so I can hear them. They asked my girlfriend, would you like to press charges? And she's like, and I'm thinking, going, what do you mean? The answer is no. Oh my God, that was probably one of those.
A white guy.
That was the scaredest I've ever been. Scared isn't a word, but it fits. I was so scared. It was, I was just like, I'm never going to be able to be a police officer. So, but yeah, after that night, that was always that was the stupidest decision I've ever made in my life. And after that night, I never actually hung out with my friend anymore. So maybe that was that life decision going, you know what? I'm focusing on this.
Yeah.
Yes. And maybe he had something to hide more than you did, Harper.
Yeah, you probably had the
Right?
cannabis.
No idea.
Right?
But yeah, it was just one of those things going, a pivoting. Maybe that was one of those pivoting things in life where it was like, you're not going where you need to go. So I'm going to create this little instance, little divine intervention. And they're going, get rid of that friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Reminded me once in summer. It was summer, and as normally here in the north of Portugal and my zone, we have lots of people who live in France, and in August in holidays they come back here to spend August here in Portugal. I think in Belgium we have some immigrants as well, but Paris it's the main place, okay. So we were in this small village in the countryside, okay, and one of the things we like to do was play the hidden, okay. It was at night, okay. Lots of yards of agriculture fields and everything, okay. And there was one counting till 100 something, and the other one went to hide themselves.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make a nice choice, and there was a hole, okay, a hole with bushes and these spiky things, and I felt there.
Ooh. Ooh.
And I don't know, maybe I was 8 or something, or 7 years old. And once I felt there, I started, get me out of here, get me out of here. And I can remember, I think I was using, it was summer, I was using shorts, okay, and nice white baskets, shoes. And my legs was all scratched. Oh my God, blood everywhere.
Oh my God.
So, and now a cousin of mine, which was also there, sometimes she approaches to me and said in Portuguese, "Tirai-me daqui, tirai-me daqui." Someone else wants to share some other memories?
I tell you what, there was one that Harper triggered. It's the police issue. There was me and my friend Si, and we were best mates for since we were like little tiny tots. And when we were about 16, we were 17, and so we were below the legal drinking age in the UK. And we'd gone to this party at the local village hall, and while we were there, this other boys just dared me to do something, and I was like steal a fire extinguisher that was quite large, that was hanging on the wall. So I did. So I stole it, and I just left it outside, and so that was all a bit of a giggle. And the intention was that after the party was over, we'd go out and we'd let the fire extinguisher off on the big playing pitches that were there as well. And so now we had got ourselves rather drunk. And so when Si said to me, let's not let it off in the field, let's take it back to your house and let it off in your back garden. So I was like, okay, yeah, no worries. So there I was carrying it. So we had to walk to my house, and we were on our way to the house. I had the fire extinguisher under my coat, and we had to cross one road just as we were like not even 100 meters from our house. We had to cross this little road. As we crossed it, blue flashing light appeared. It's like, oh my God. So I was like, dump it. And I was like, well, I can't dump it. There's nowhere to dump the fire extinguisher. So the policeman pulled up. And so they said, oh, where have you boys been? And we were like, oh, we were just at the village hall, just having a party, just walking home, And we were very, very drunk. And I'm thinking, hey, we're getting away with it. And then suddenly the police officer goes, what's that under your coat? Oh, it's a fire extinguisher. We found it in the ditch. You went, really? Oh, yeah. He said, well, I'll tell you what, boys, why don't you get in the car and we'll drive back to the village hall, because any little village, and we'll see if they're missing one. And if they aren't missing one, then you're in the clear. He was like, uh-oh. So he said, so I suggest if you've got anything else, you better come clean now. Have you got anything else? No. Okay, get in the car. As Si's getting in the car, clunk, 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 clunk. What's that in your coat, they say to Si. He had bizarrely stolen about 8 metal ashtrays. I mean, no apparent reason. But they were getting a little bit, they said they probably came from the village hall too, didn't they? And it's like, yeah. They took us to the village hall. The they took the stuff back and they said, sorry, boys, you've been underage drinking as well. So actually, we've got to take you to the police station in a different town. And so suddenly it's like getting a bit serious. So, and it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. It was like thinking, my parents are going to kill me when I get home. So they take us off to the police station. And luckily, I got the nice cop. So in those days, I smoked as well. And so he said, oh, empty your pockets. And it's like, oh, there was a, well, actually, for some reason, I had my girlfriend's purse. Another story. But anyway, that was the only incriminating thing I had on me. And so, I had a cigarette. So he went, oh, can I have a cigarette? I said, yeah, of course you can. So, we just had a cigarette. And he helped me write my statement. Really nice bloke. Simon got the mean cop. And so he says, right, have you got anything else to say? He says, so I said, no. He says, really? So I said, nothing at all. Okay, empty your pockets. He produces a salt and pepper pot. So he'd also, it's like, why have you stolen this? So yeah, he got the bad cop. So it gets to about 3 o'clock in the morning, and they're saying, okay, right, and luckily, they said we'll take. It was about 5 miles away from home, so they said we'll take you home. So they get us back in the police car. They drive back. They drop Simon off first, and Simon's parents, they're pretty laissez-faire. They weren't bothered at all, so no dramas. Mm-hmm. So they get back to my house. This time it's like 3:30. I know I am dead the moment I walk through that door. And the policeman said, "Are you okay?" They could see this look of fear on my face. I said, no. I said, I'm just not looking forward to going home. And they said, "Do you want us to come and explain for you?" I said, "No, I'm in enough trouble." I said, "Okay." I went to the door, put my key in gingerly, opened the door. My mum went, "Don't worry, we've heard. They rang us." I'm like, oh. So, I'd like to say, and after that, I never stole or drank another thing. But I don't think I stole anything, but carried on drinking.
Yeah. Did you still remain friends with the other boy?
No. Oh yes, yeah. Oh, we dined out on it and laughed our socks off after the event. But at the time, it was just like,
listen.
I didn't realise you were a kleptomaniac, for Christ's sake. It was where he just kept denying, and then got caught. Brilliant.
Interesting.
So I think I will get back to the history Maria mentioned about getting others blame.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a good topic. Besides that, do you have any other one to share, Maria?
Oh my goodness. Gee, you know what? Oh yeah, I know another one. Yeah, I can tell you another one that it's interesting that I was learning to swim. Okay, we were learning to swim. We were taking lessons. We were going to the beach. We were at camping for 2 months out of the year. That's what we do in Canada, at least with my family. So we were there and we were taking swimming lessons. And so what we had to do at one time, we had to jump off a dock. And we had to jump off, and it was terrible. It was so dark over there, and it scared me. Okay, they waited. So every other kid was jumping. You had to jump in order to, get the paper that says what you're doing. So here it is. It took them an hour for me to get in there and jump because I was so afraid and I hated the blackness of it. And you know what? I finally jumped off, and then I did it again. So I was able to get my paper, but I never want to jump off that dock again. But what's interesting, I look at my life, okay, and I can see how I am. I'm very cautious. Of course, being the firstborn, usually you are a little bit more cautious. At least I was. I'm very courageous for certain things, but when it's deep and dark and I really don't know what's going on, I can't measure it or understand it, I hesitate and I wait. And I've done that with my business. I've done that with everything. That's really probably saved me many, many times from getting into disastrous business affairs or whatever. So I would say that was the second one that comes to my mind, that I was not going to jump. I didn't feel comfortable. I don't care what they told me. I don't care even if they did it. I still wasn't going to do it. And still to this day, I don't care what anybody else does. If I don't feel for me it's good, I don't do it. So it remains.
Quite right. Quite right.
Yeah.
It reminds me, when we were younger, did you ever a swimming proficiency, and in the swimming pool, you'd have to dive in wearing your pajamas and grab a block that was down at the deep end, and then
Yeah,
swim back up to
You
get.
had to do that?
Yeah, we had to do that. Now
Oh,
that was I was probably about early teens, not even that. I'm
Mhm.
now 55. Not once have I been walking along some deep water in my pajamas
So jumping off.
and had, you know, have I missed what the point of that whole exercise was?
do you remember this advert, Nick? Learn to swim, young man.
Yes,
Learn
I
to
do.
swim. Do you remember
I do.
that advert?
I do. I do. And slightly controversially, of course, we used to have Rolf Harris. Rolf Harris used to do the advert. Oh, come on, children, let's learn to swim. It's like, whoa, Uncle Rolf, no.
Once they're in the water, they love it. So do you, you dirty bastard.
That one didn't make it over the pond.
Sure, no, dirty man.
That's right. You didn't make it over the pond. No.
No. Yeah, I used to like the old adverts. Do you remember Reginald Mohusband? Do you remember him, Nick?
What's his name?
Reginald Mohusband. Now,
No.
this tells me when I say I watch people parking, right? Now we have very olden days we had government informational firms, and they had this guy called Reginald Mohusband trying to reverse park into the cab, and he took ages. He was useless, and crowds had gathered, and he eventually got in, and the whole crowd went, and it was like cartoonish. Don't be like Reginald. Learn to park. Reginald Morris. So I still call people parking and I'll say, what's your name? Reginald Mohusband. No, some people get it right away and some don't. Do you mind if I bring up a conversation? Very important. You need to know this. Did you know there's something happened in Britain? Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, Nick?
What's that?
No.
In Britain, we have got a brand new TV station.
Oh, yes.
GB
News.
They say it's like a Fox News. And they've already a website trying to cancel all the advertisers, and some have bowed to the pressure, and it's been fun. Nick, let me tell you what's happened. The first night, they got more viewing than Sky News and the BBC.
Wow.
They are worried.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
There's a cancel culture, and I would say hold firm, because some of them have buckled. They've buckled to a few people who said, let's cancel them. And now I was just about to give an order to Vodafone, but they buckled. No, and they found one, and there's more and more. Be careful what you ask for, and that's what's happening. It's a disruptor. The whole nation is talking about it.
Wow.
I've got to admit, those viewing figures don't surprise me, Peter. I mean, not least, I think you only need 2 viewers and you'll get more than BBC World News anyway. Or their 24-hour news channel. I mean, no, seriously, no, it's a running joke. No one watches it. It's one of those.
No.
This is why the BBC is funded by a license. It's crazy. It's the most dumb corporation on the planet, I think, and the most left-wing.
Things are changing in Britain, so much so yesterday, the editor of Newsnite, did you see this, Nick, was actually chased through the streets by a mob.
No.
Yeah, so he's the editor of Newsnite, which is the BBC, a bit left of centre. Yeah. And boy, did they they're really aggressive to asking, why have you not mentioned this? Why have you not mentioned that? Why have you not mentioned that? Yes. Now, if you can actually watch GB News, folks. You can get it on the internet. It's Andrew Neil, a big player in Britain, and boy, he doesn't matter what you are, conservative, liberal, or what's the
he
Marxists
will.
will rip you apart no matter
Yeah.
who you are.
Exactly. It will take your head off. And that's the thing. But last general election, Boris Johnson famously did interviews with virtually everybody bar Andrew Neil because he knew he'd get absolutely killed. He really would. But one of the interesting points was they didn't just want to, they are proud to be British news. But they equally did say they're more, they won't hold back on our failings as well. But different to other news channels, they actually want to bring in some good news as well, as opposed to all the bad news. So I'll give them kudos for that. But the whole cancel culture on both sides is just totally crazy, and it's I don't know where it's going to end. Someone needs to.
You all know Piers Morgan.
Totally now.
Piers Morgan, since he left GMTV, the morning TV station he walked out on, it has drawn. And I come down, I was up. Sheila put the TV and I said, "What are you doing?" She was watching GMTV. I says, "Get that off right now. They're not getting my viewing figures. Get the radio on instead." And as soon as GB News, and the thing is, they're not a rolling news station. They're chat. They've got regional people. It's really different. And I'll tell you, a lot of people are scared of them. Terrified.
That's it.
The truth. They're afraid of the truth, right, Peter?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
In this world, they're afraid of the truth. Just
They're even talking about the immigrants still flowing into Britain on boats.
I know it's talking about that.
Oh dear, everybody else would hide it. Oh, don't mention that. Don't mention that. And everything is getting mentioned, And I'm just sitting here lapping it up.
Actually, someone told me the other day that even after we shut the borders with India to stop the Indian variant COVID coming in, there's still 20 flights a day. In and out of Heathrow. You think, well,
they've changed the name in Canada. They've changed the name now to Delta. They've changed it from India to Delta, and it's the same thing, right?
The same thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but for whatever political reasons, they've changed the name.
And they don't like. I won't even mention it, but where it originated, they don't like you calling it that. But they'll call it the Spanish flu. Because it was in Spain. The rain in Spain falls rain on it when that's what it was. Oh dear. What's happening? So go look at GB News. You'll like it.
Okay, well, where do we find it though? Is it on YouTube, Peter?
You'll find it on YouTube. You'll find it on their internet. It's GB News. That stands for Great Britain. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's quite refreshing, and what they've got is they've got 4 panelists on in the morning, and you've got one for and you've got one against, and you see them arguing. It's getting quite heated now, and that's what I want to see rather than just one-sided shutting you down. Now I don't know if you've heard of Project Veritas. Have you heard of Project Veritas?
I know the name, but I couldn't tell you what it's about.
Harper, have you? Harper.
Project Veritas?
What?
Have you heard of Project Veritas? Go and look it up because you'll love it. There was a news reporter, a lady on Fox 6, or some music somewhere, Fox 6 News or something like that. She actually said there, "I'm going to wait to tell the nation all about you and how you're hiding things live on air." And they couldn't cut her off. The next thing, they phoned her, she's got a sack. But look up Project Veritas. It's a guy called James O'Keefe. I'm surprised you've not heard of him, Harper. Because he's American and he's doing a lot of stings. It's great. It's funny. It works.
Put his name in the private chat because I can't understand what you're saying.
I hear music.
Well,
Me too.
it's good. It's good to know you hear music. You don't see. I see dead people.
Yeah, that song gave me the creeps.
They're everywhere.
You know, I was lying in my bed one day and I'd wake up. I thought there was someone looking down at me. My biggest fear is waking up dead, right?
Yeah.
My wish, actually, Peter, is to die in my sleep. That's my
Yes.
wish. Let me
Yeah.
die in my sleep peacefully.
Well,
the way I kind of try to live my
I
life.
don't know, because that way I will miss the breakfast. I don't know.
well,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
I-
very
I-
good point, Marco.
Yeah.
I succumbed to carbon monoxide in the tank, and when you
Oh,
fire a
wow.
bullet inside the
Ooh.
tank, the bullets fire from a machine gun, and I hadn't put the ventilator on, so the carbon monoxide from the runs built up, and I remember just going like this, my eyes shut in, and the words that came to me was, "Is this death?" And then I was up.
Ooh.
Oh,
Wow. That
And then
fast.
I was put. Yeah, it was very peaceful.
Yeah, very
And
peaceful.
I was pulled out of the turret, and I was revived. I wasn't dead, but I'll tell you what, it was so peaceful.
Mhm.
However, it wasn't peaceful after, because the most throbbing thing you could ever find. And I always remember. Now, I was known as Uncle Fester in my regiment because I was always sleeping. I was, any time I could have a nap, I kind of that. So when I collapsed in the turret, we were going down range. And what happened is I collapsed, and you were called a pronto, which is a signaler. Pronto's down. So everything stopped, and everybody was sitting there. And all the tank crews were speaking to each other and said, "Who's in that tank? Who is it?" And somebody said, "It's wee Pete." He said, "I was sleeping." But that was carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
Very
So
peaceful.
it's very peaceful.
Yeah,
That's good.
very peaceful.
Okay. I have a story in my family, and this is a true story.
Mhm.
It was an uncle from my father, I think. She was very old, 90 something. Okay.
Mhm.
And then she drank a bowl of red wine,
Mhm.
and then she died.
Ooh.
a whole bottle.
Ooh, okay, that's all right.
Oh,
I
I
can
like
take
that
that.
story.
I can take that. I
One
can
for the
take that.
road.
Yeah, that's the nice way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so-
a lovely way to go. Yeah.
So, my friends,
Yep.
we came to the end.
Wow.
Okay?
Have
We
the
shared
song.
some childhood memories, and I think it's good to end this show with this amazing music.
Inspector Clouseau, do you remember him, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah. That was so funny. It's Peter Sellers, right?
Do you remember his form?
Yeah,
I had a guy that worked for me like that, and he used to drive me crazy with his stupidness.
So, thank you so much for all of you who joined today. Thank you, Peter, Nick, Chris, go Liverpool, and Maria.
Liverpool.
See you next week, everyone.
We'll see you next week. Bye bye.